This week isn't just big, it's game-changing. General Hospital.
The halls of General Hospital had always carried a certain kind of magic, a blend of drama, heartbreak, and resilience that kept millions of viewers returning day after day. But on a crisp March morning in 2026, something different lingered in the air. It wasn't just another episode in the long-running saga. It was something more personal, something deeper, something that, for many involved, felt profoundly real. Behind the camera stood Kate Mansi, her eyes scanning the set with quiet intensity. Known to audiences for her emotional performances on screen, today she was shaping the story from a different perspective, one that required both technical precision and emotional courage. This episode, airing Monday, March 16th, wasn't just another credit to her growing list of achievements. It was a story rooted in her own life, one that carried years of personal struggle and quiet strength. At the center of the episode was Molly Lansing Davis, portrayed by Kristen Vaganos. Molly had always been known as intelligent, composed, and driven, a woman who approached life with logic and determination. But beneath that composed exterior lay a battle she hadn't fully revealed to the world. The storyline traced back to 2023, when Molly and her then-partner TJ Ashford, played by Taj Bello, began dreaming of starting a family. Like many couples, they had imagined a future filled with laughter, milestones, and the simple joys of parenthood. But life, as it often does in Port Charles, had other plans. After months of uncertainty and emotional strain, Molly received a diagnosis that would change everything: endometriosis. The word itself felt heavy, unfamiliar to many viewers, yet painfully familiar to millions of women around the world. It was a condition that often went undiagnosed, misunderstood, or dismissed, a silent struggle hidden behind brave smiles and everyday routines. As the cameras prepared to roll, Mansi reflected on her own journey. Diagnosed in 2015, she knew firsthand the frustration, the confusion, and the emotional toll that came with the condition. For years, she had navigated a world where conversations about women's health, especially something as complex as endometriosis, were often overlooked. That's what makes this episode so important, she had shared in an earlier interview. It's not just storytelling, it's representation. The set was quiet now. The crew moved with a sense of reverence, aware that they were about to capture something delicate, something honest. In the scene, Molly sat across from her boyfriend Cody Bell, played by Josh Kelly. The lighting was soft, intimate. There were no dramatic outbursts, no explosive confrontations, just a conversation. But within that conversation lay the weight of years of pain and resilience. "I don't always show it," Molly admitted, her voice steady but vulnerable. "Most days, I pretend everything is fine, because it's easier than explaining what this feels like." Cody listened carefully, his expression filled with concern but also a quiet determination to understand. This wasn't about fixing the problem. It was about being present. "What does it feel like?" he asked gently. Molly hesitated, searching for words that could capture something so complex. "It's like your body is fighting against you," she said. "Some days it's manageable. Other days, it's overwhelming. And you never really know which day it's going to be." Behind the monitor, Mansi watched closely. She wasn't just directing a scene. She was guiding a truth. She had instructed the actors to lean into the silence, to let the pauses speak as loudly as the dialogue. Her vision was clear, to show that strength doesn't always look like resilience. Sometimes strength is vulnerability. Sometimes it's allowing yourself to be seen. As the conversation unfolded, Molly explained how the condition had impacted her life, not just physically, but emotionally. The dreams she and TJ once shared had shifted, reshaped by a reality they hadn't anticipated. The diagnosis had revealed extensive scarring, making it incredibly difficult for her to carry a pregnancy to full term. For viewers who had followed Molly's journey, it was a heartbreaking revelation. But for others, it was an education, a window into a condition rarely discussed on television. Mansi knew that was part of the responsibility. In all my years in this industry, she had said, I've never seen a script that even mentioned endometriosis. That needs to change. And change it did. As the episode progressed, the focus remained intimate and grounded. There were no sweeping dramatic twists, no sudden reversals. Instead, there was honesty, raw, unfiltered, and deeply human. Cody reached for Molly's hand. You don't have to go through this alone, he said. It was a simple line, but one that carried immense weight. It represented what so many people living with chronic conditions longed for: understanding, support, and compassion. Mansi nodded softly, behind the camera. This was exactly what she wanted. Between takes, she approached Vaganos, offering gentle guidance. Let it breathe, she said. You don't have to push it. The truth is already there. Vaganos nodded, clearly moved by the material. She had spent weeks researching the condition, speaking with medical professionals, and listening to real stories from those affected by endometriosis. She understood the importance of getting it right. This isn't just Molly's story, she had said earlier. It's so many people's story, and that truth echoed through every frame. As filming continued, the emotional weight of the episode became increasingly evident. Crew members wiped away tears between takes. Even seasoned professionals, accustomed to the heightened emotions of daytime drama, found themselves deeply affected. Because this wasn't just fiction. It was reality. It was the millions of people who wake up each day not knowing how their bodies will feel. It was the silent battles fought behind closed doors. It was the courage it takes to keep going, even when the path ahead feels uncertain. Mansi carried all of that with her as she directed. She wasn't just telling a story, she was honoring one. By the time the final scene wrapped, the set fell into a quiet stillness. There was no immediate applause, no celebratory chatter, just a shared understanding that something meaningful had been created. Later, when the episode aired on ABC and streamed on Hulu, audiences responded exactly as anticipated. They reached for tissues. Social media lit up with messages from viewers who saw themselves reflected in Molly's story. Many shared their own experiences with endometriosis, stories of delayed diagnoses, misunderstood symptoms, and the emotional toll of living with a chronic condition. For some, it was the first time they had ever seen their reality represented on screen. For others, it was a moment of validation, a reminder that they weren't alone. And for Mansi, it was everything she had hoped for. The episode didn't just raise awareness. It sparked conversation. It encouraged understanding. It gave a voice to something that had long been kept in the shadows. In the world of General Hospital, drama had always been a cornerstone. But this time, the most powerful moment wasn't a shocking twist or a dramatic reveal. It was a conversation. A quiet, honest, deeply human conversation. And sometimes, that's the kind of storytelling that matters most.